Hey, Hope City Hope Scholars, happy Easter, everybody. Today is a very special day we call Easter Sunday. Do you know why Easter is such a special day? No, it's not just because you might get candy, and it's not just because the Easter Bunny seems like a cool guy. It's even more special than that, because on Easter we celebrate the fact that Jesus rose from the dead, and that is what we call good news. Now, if you remember my video from Good Friday, we said that sometimes Good Friday feels really sad, because we remember on that day that Jesus, on a Friday, died on the cross. He was crucified and nailed to a cross until he died. And he was killed by people who hated him. But the reason that he was killed was because of our sin. You remember we said that sin is any time that we disobey God. Anytime we disobey and don't live the way that he wants us to live. And sin brings a lot of bad things. It brings a lot of painful things. It brings a lot of sad things. Because God made you to know him and to have a relationship with him. But sin got in the way of that relationship. And the Bible says that all of us are sinners. You and me and everybody else. And the Bible also says that the only punishment for sin is death. And Jesus died for our sin. Even though he never sinned or never disobeyed God, he still chose to die and to hurt and to feel alone for us. But guess what? That wasn't the end of that story. Did you know that? Because if Jesus died, just like all of us one day will die, if Jesus was hurt, just like we get hurt, if Jesus felt alone or afraid or sad or scared like we feel alone or scared or sad, that was really nice of him to do for us, because he didn't have to do that because he was the Son of God. But nothing really changes for us if he just died and stayed dead. Think of it like this. Let's say you did something really bad at school and you got in a lot of trouble and the principal gave you detention for the whole school year. That would be bad, right? You would miss out on so many things. Your mom would not be happy with you, right? And what if I came along and I didn't get detention, but I came to your school and I said, you know what? Even though I don't deserve this, I didn't do anything wrong, I am going to sit in detention with you, just like you. I'm going to serve detention with you. Now you might say, well, Pastor Taylor, that's really nice of you to stay there with me, but now we're just both here in detention. That's not really good news, is it? We're still just stuck here. But what if instead I came and I said, you know what? I'm coming to detention, and even better than that, I'm going to say we're not going to have detention anymore. We're canceling it. It's going to be done for. There will no longer be any detention. I've come here and I've sat with you and I've decided that we are both going to walk out of here and not have to pay this penalty anymore. That would be a lot better. That would be some good news. Wouldn't it? You're right. It would be. And that's exactly what Jesus did. He died, just like all of us one day will die, but he didn't have to, and he didn't even sin. But 3 days later, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning, his friends and the people that loved him went to his tomb where he was buried after he died. But they didn't find him there. Instead, they saw that his tomb was empty. And then right after that, he appeared to them. And he was alive. Even though they saw him die, he was alive in front of him. Because Jesus is more powerful than even death. Death didn't have the power to keep him dead. He came back to life, which is something none of us could ever do. And when he did that, he said, anyone who believes in me doesn't have to go through death like they deserve for sin, but even though they will die, they will have life forever with me. Now, that's hard to understand, but Think of it this way. Do you ever feel like death or evil is winning? Do you ever feel like, not in a video game or a story or a TV show or a movie, but in real life, do you ever feel like sad things are the only thing that are winning? Like evil is winning? Sometimes you feel scared and you don't know if everything's going to be okay. Sometimes bad things happen to you or people you love or care about. Sometimes we just have a hard time. And that's part of what we call sin, because God made us to have this life with Him, but sin ruined that. And it left us with this mess of things that makes life hard and painful and lonely. And Jesus went through all those things just like us, but He didn't just go through those things. He actually died and rose again so that we could say one day all the sad things that we see in the world will become untrue. One day, all of those things that hurt us and scare us, all of those things will be done away with, because Jesus is more powerful than that enemy and any other enemies. And we are not His enemies if we believe in Him, trust that He died for our sin, but also rose again and came to life so that not even death has any power over Him. So you can believe that your life matters because God made you to have a relationship with Him. And He sent His own Son to die for our sin and to defeat the power of death so that we can have a relationship with God that you were created to have. And that is good news, everyone. Happy Easter. Stay safe. We love you, and we'll see you soon.